Hey, hi, how you doing? This is Ryan. Welcome back to the Gamertron Show. This is a very sad video I'm having to make here. I was really hoping that this wasn't going to happen, that something would have been done. But I guess that was just my naivete and optimism getting the better of me. The video game Battleborn is gone. One of my favorite games of the year 2016 is no more, unplayable. All that's left is a menu screen and a text message. A message that reads, "Heroes! It's been a hell of a ride, but all fights must end. The campaign and multiplayer are no longer available as the Battleborn servers are offline. Thank you for playing." No, thank you, Gearbox and 2K, for stealing my $60, you fucking thieves. I thought I was buying a video game, not vaporware. Don't misunderstand me though, I'm genuinely heartbroken for the developers, the artists, the animators, the voice actors, the musicians who poured their heart and soul into making this game. I have over 100 hours in this game. I saw the effort, I saw the attention to detail, I saw the passion, and now it's all just gone. To all the folks involved with making Battleborn, my heart goes out to you. I can't imagine how soul-crushing it must be to have years of your life's work vanish before your eyes. You hardworking men and women deserve better. Now on the consumer side of things, wow, we got totally fucked, didn't we? No refunds, no way to play the game offline single player, no giving away the game's assets for free to the community like Epic Games did when they shut down Paragon, nothing like that. Allow me to provide even further context as to how absolutely absurd this situation is. Video game publisher 2K has more money than God right now. They make millions of dollars in profit every month from the video game Grand Theft Auto 5, just that game alone. Video game developer Gearbox made record sales with Borderlands free. The developer and publisher of Battleborn can more than afford to issue refunds to its customers and or provide their developers the necessary amount of funds needed to code Battleborn so that it runs on peer-to-peer servers instead of dedicated ones. So that, the game would still be playable. And if that wasn't bad enough, let's add some more insult to injury. Aliens Colonial Marines? Gearbox Software's most infamous game, the game that the majority of people don't like. It's still available for purchase. It's still perfectly playable. Its single-player campaign, its PvE and PvP multiplayer components, still completely playable. Battleborn, an arguably better game, a game that way more people liked, developed by Gearbox, is now unplayable, while Gearbox's arguably worst game is still for sale and in a completely playable state. How fucking nuts is that? The video game industry can be pretty fucking insane at times, eh? But I've already said my piece about Battleborn and this whole situation in a previous video. That's 1 year old, holy shit, time flies. Battleborn was a good video game and it didn't deserve this, and god damn it, I'm gonna miss it. But now, I'm going to give you all my hot take, my opinion of what is one of the primary culprits of the death of Battleborn. And by death of Battleborn, I mean its actual shutdown, not its popularity on the internet, which is frivolous bullshit. One of the main reasons for the death of Battleborn is the gaming community's insistence on dedicated servers. Don't get me wrong, 2K and Gearbox are still to blame for their greed and incompetence, but Battleborn was obviously designed and coded on the foundation of dedicated servers, always online dedicated servers. In hindsight, this was a terrible idea that Gearbox shouldn't have pursued, but at the time, it made sense. For the past decade, the gaming community has been persistent in the demand for dedicated servers in their multiplayer video games. Don't get me wrong, I understand why. You want a lag-free experience in your online multiplayer. Totally understandable. However, me personally, I care more about ownership over the products I pay for and the historical preservation of all video games, single player and multiplayer, which is why I prefer peer-to-peer servers, player-hosted servers. I am content with having to put up with lag if it means I get to play the video game for as long as I want, whenever I want. Developing video games to solely use dedicated servers basically puts an expiration date on them. If the game's player base drops, if the game stops turning a profit, what reason is there? What logical reason is there to keep paying for the servers? Battleborn had a low player base and wasn't making any money. Can you really blame 2K and Gearbox for shutting down the servers? Not really, but you can certainly blame them for not offering refunds or doing anything to preserve the game or save the game. Just leave it in some sort of playable state, you stupid greedy fucks. Sorry, back on topic. So yeah, having dedicated servers is almost a guaranteed death sentence for some multiplayer games. You can't pay for those servers forever, whereas with video games that use peer-to-peer servers, I can play these bad boys whenever I want for as long as I want till the end of time. Mass Effect free multiplayer, which released all the way back in 2012, can still play it. Evolve? You remember Evolve? Yes, the dedicated servers were shut down, but they switched to peer-to-peer, so the entire game and all of its content is perfectly playable, single-player, co-op, and full-on PvP if you get enough players. Here's a super obscure first-person shooter from 2009, Shattered Horizon. It's unfortunately not available for purchase anymore on the Steam store. Essentially, no one plays this game, but peer-to-peer servers, complete bot support, bot matches, all of its content is perfectly playable. Lost Planet 2 from all the way back in 2010. Peer-to-peer servers, full bot support and bot matches. All multiplayer content is totally available and completely playable. Y'all remember or even know about the first-person shooter multiplayer franchise Section 8? Once again, unfortunately, another game that's not available for purchase on Steam. But again, peer-to-peer servers, full bot support and bot matches, all multiplayer content is available and playable. Oh yeah, and do I even need to mention the Unreal Tournament and Quake games that released in the 1990s, and that their multiplayer components are still completely playable and functional because they use player-hosted, community-hosted lobbies and servers? Are all of you seeing my point? Again, I get why people like dedicated servers, but I'm sorry, I will take peer-to-peer servers over dedicated servers any day of the week. Removing lag from our online multiplayer experiences is not worth sacrificing ownership and the historical preservation of our video games. So yeah, I would argue for more video games to use peer-to-peer servers instead of dedicated servers, but hey, that's just my opinion. I'd like to hope that it's based on enough factual evidence that many of you will agree with said opinion and understand my perspective. But by all means, if you still believe that dedicated servers are the way to go, that dedicated servers are the way of the future of gaming, please leave your arguments in the comment section down below. I'd love to read them. And now with that little rant about dedicated servers out of the way, I would like to once again emphasize the fact that 2K is a garbage video game publisher that is greedy, incompetent, nonsensical, that I quite frankly will now be boycotting as I do with Activision Blizzard. As far as I'm concerned, 2K stole my money. I made a transaction with them. I gave them my money for their product. They took my money, and then they took their product back. What incentive do I have to ever purchase another video game that is published by 2K? They've set the precedent now. If you purchase a 2K video game, there's the possibility that a few years down the line, they will shut the whole thing down, and the product you paid money for will be gone, non-existent. Does that sound like a reputable video game publisher to you? Or like a fucking scam artist? Can you imagine if something like this happened to Unreal Tournament or Quake? Where a few years after launch, when the player base started to drop, the devs and publishers just decided, hey, we're gonna shut down the servers of these games, and we're gonna take these games off of all storefronts. Wouldn't you be fucking outraged? Wouldn't there be hell to pay for that? Oh, better yet, imagine if this happened to Halo Combat Evolved, where not only they were shutting down the multiplayer servers, taking the game off storefronts, but also making you unable to play the single-player campaign. Because the developers decided for some nonsensical reason to link the single-player campaign content to online multiplayer servers. Oh, that still boggles my mind about Battleborn. It had perfectly serviceable single-player campaign content. There was no need to link that content to dedicated servers, and yet they did. Like, why would you do that, Gearbox? You've never done that with Borderlands. You didn't do that with Aliens Colonial Marines, or even fucking Duke Nukem Forever. Why? Why did you feel the need to link the single player and the co-op PvE content to dedicated servers? It's like you were developing this game, setting up this game to just be deleted someday. And just, why would you do it? Why would you design a video game in this way? It wasn't an MMO. Like with MMOs, I completely understand MMOs being shut down, servers being shut down, MMOs being wiped. Those games are built as always online, server-based multiplayer video games. Like, it sucks, but it makes complete sense that those games come to an end. That they shut down and cease being playable. Like, it sucks, but it makes sense. Battleborn, though? It's a first-person shooter MOBA. Why in the world, what nonsense reason could possibly require this game to always require an internet connection? Such wasted time and effort. Again, my heart goes out to the developers of Battleborn. You folks made a good video game, you made a fun video game, and it was appreciated. God, I'm gonna fucking miss Battleborn. You know, with these kind of videos focusing on a negative topic, I like to end the video, like, surprise people with, hey, here's something positive. Here's, like, some good video games you can go check out. But the thing is, there really is no other video games like Battleborn. It was truly unique. It was an honest-to-goodness first-person shooter MOBA, not a first-person shooter with light MOBA elements or hero shooter elements. Battleborn was a first-person shooter MOBA. Yes, there are other hero shooters out there. Yes, there are other MOBAs out there. But there are none that looked or felt or played like Battleborn. Was Battleborn a perfect game? No. Did it have issues? Yes. But did it deserve this fate? Absolutely not. Rest in peace, Battleborn. I'm gonna miss you. Thank you to the developers over at Gearbox who made a one-of-a-kind video game, and 2K can go suck my fucking dick, you fucking cunts.